Okay, we're getting to hear that there was some high drama that was witnessed in the assembly in Tamil Nadu with DMK MLAs being suspended en masse for a week, and DMK leader Stalin was evicted out of the Tamil Nadu assembly. Now, Stalin was reportedly evicted for interrupting the assembly session. He claims that the AIADMK has been mocking his Namakku named rally and that the speaker is partial to the AIADMK. And these are the scenes of absolute ruckus that was witnessed outside and inside the Tamil Nadu assembly with the DMK MLAs being suspended for a week. Okay, so high drama there in the assembly of Tamil Nadu. DMK MLAs being suspended en masse for a week. The DMK leader Stalin also being evicted out of the Tamil Nadu assembly. We have with us now Pramod Madhav to tell us more what exactly happened and what led to the suspension of the DMK MLAs. Pramod, go ahead and give us the details.
Because the tension has been there since the beginning of this assembly, starting from a seat allocation for DMK's leader Kalainar Karunanidhi. FK Stalin said that they want a seat in the front row so that he could move easily, but it was denied. And beginning after that, like each and every session, DMK and ADMK had one or the other kind of trouble over presiding problems, including whatever things that is happening in Chennai, especially the management of transport systems and everything like that. What today happened is that one of the MLAs from Tirupur for AIADMK mocked Stalin's political tour, which he named as Namakku Name, meaning we for ourselves, that he conducted last year, right before the assembly elections. He has said that, like, in the name of such tours, Stalin was just going around and trying to meet people. He was slapping around. Stalin apparently slapped 2 people on that tour, which was considered slap. Stalin said that it's just his hand touched another person. So Stalin and other DMK MLAs started raising against this, and they said like they have to expunge whatever the ADMK MLA has said, but the speaker said that he will not allow such things to happen. So they started a huge ruckus broke out inside the assembly, and finally the speaker asked the assembly guards to remove the DMK MLAs out of the assembly.
And you know, we've seen in that state how the two titans, his father Karunanidhi and Jayalalitha, have clashed on numerous occasions, even inside the Tamil Nadu assembly. And now we are seeing a repeat of the same, the kind of action taken against the DMK MLAs. How will this go down with the opposition, the DMK?
Lamtika, DMK is like protesting for each and everything right now in inside the assembly. For instance, one of the ADMK MLAs, they called Karunanidhi by his name, apparently, instead of calling him as a former chief minister or something. For one day, they walked out of the assembly for this particular reason alone. And later, the speaker has, like, every situation where, like, the DMK continuously says that the speaker is acting on one-sided manner, prejudice towards ADMK MLAs, and he only gives time and response for only ADMK MLAs to speak, and the DMK is not allowed to voice their words. For instance, at one point, Jayalalitha said that if you need a DMK to walk out of the assembly, all you got to talk about is Kachativu or Sri Lanka issue, and they will walk out themselves. You don't have to do anything about it. That way, the chief minister is also, it seems like the main party here is kind of provocating DMK, and instead of DMK doing their job as legislative MLAs, they're also falling for the tricks of ADMK MLAs, Avantika.
And we've seen that kind of provocation from the very beginning, haven't we, Pramod, after the elections, during the swearing-in ceremony, when DMK was not given a seat right at the front, where his seat was put behind. So we've seen this kind of, scuffle that has been going on between both these parties for a very long time, but now even more after the AIADMK came to power.
Exactly, Avantika. It seems like the second time when Jayalalitha came to power, she has made it strong that people want her back in power, and it was like a huge blow. Even though they got 99 seats and everything, it was a huge blow for DMK. And right now it seems like they are the ADMK MLAs and the party is kind of having fun with DMK by mocking them this way or the other way. And what DMK legislative party leader Stalin said at that point was that they will act as a responsible party. But it doesn't seem like they're acting like a responsible party. It seems like if an ADMK MLA says something, instead of trying to give them a proper response, DMK is also taking the same action, which means the assembly gets stalled and important matters that are supposed to be discussed are being proposed for the next day, and that is how it's going. The assembly is going on in Tamil Nadu.
All right, stay with me. We also have with us Mr. Gani Sankaran, who is a political analyst who joins us now on India Today. So thanks so much for speaking to us. What do you make of this high political drama that was witnessed in the Tamil Nadu Assembly? Similar scenes that you've seen in the past. Are you surprised with what has happened against the DMK MLAs who have now been suspended for a week?
Actually, this year after the election, there was a hope that the Assembly would be much better this time, with both the ruling party and the opposition party agreeing to allow a debate. But in a couple of months now, it has changed to the back to square one, where the opposition party's voice is not really permitted, which is very unfortunate. And no assembly can be complete without an opposition voice. And despite Stalin coming forward to apologize to the speaker has taken a very stern action. And all of us hope that in the coming weeks he may perhaps go back on his decision.
No, but tell us a little bit more about, Stalin's outreach program, that huge, massive voter outreach program, Namukku Name. It's because of this that led to the entire furor inside the assembly. He alleges that there was someone from the government who was making snide remarks against him, who mocked his program. So obviously the DMK, are seeing more to this than just political vendetta.
Well, there is always a political bickering over these issues. The point is, Stalin's outreach was more aimed at the election at that time. And I don't think that is any more an issue at all. And the real issue now is allowing a debate in the assembly on issues that concern the public.
But through that program, sir, didn't Stalin target the Tamil Nadu chief minister at that point, over her so-called inaccessibility?
Yes, he was making that an issue in that campaign. He said, I'm right now in the streets, coming to along with you to the tea shops, having tea with the common man, and can the chief minister do this? That was the kind of question he was posing in several meetings.
Do you think he's paying a price for that now?
I don't know whether that kind of what should one say, whether one remembers all these things and starts taking action on these things. If it is so, it's very unfortunate, and that doesn't speak good of politics.
Right. Mr. Shankaran, thanks so much for speaking to us. We have the spokesperson now from the AIADMK MAFOI, Pandya who joins us now. Mr. Pandya, thank you so much for speaking to us and taking the time out. Can you just tell us what led to the suspension of the DMK MLAs? What led to the kind of ruckus that we are getting to see, and with Stalin being evicted out of the assembly?
I see the DMK members have very consistently been trying to block the smooth flow of the assembly from the very first day in this assembly. And I think the speaker has been very, very generous with them. And they've even turned their ire on the speaker himself, personally, talking ill of him and belittling him and things like that. I think it really reached a height of indignity today when they were starting to literally dictate terms to the speaker as to what should be there in the assembly records, what should not be in the assembly records, and it was done in a very disgraceful manner. I mean,
but sir, they accuse the speaker of bias. They have alleged that the speaker is, partial towards the AIADMK. What do you have to say to that?
Not really. No. So today the trigger happened when both the opposition leader and his deputy were not there in the assembly. And there was a reference to Namukku Name, which is the outreach scheme of Mr. Stalin in the last election. And yes, it was mentioned in the context of a speech of one of the AIADMK speakers, one of the AIADMK members, who was speaking about Namukku Name scheme being a drama of sorts. And he was mentioning it in the passing. So there was a huge uproar for that statement.
No, but why was that remark made in the first place if you knew that, the relations between the two parties have been strained in the past? There's been an old rivalry. Then, many are calling this as an attempt of a provocation on part of your party.
No, but why? Mr. Stalin, who just walked in after that, he himself said he has done no problem with that being mentioned. He was trying to actually quote what Tamil Nadu PM had mentioned in one of third internal party meeting, in the executive committee meeting of AIADMK. He was trying to put what was said during that time, and I think he really complicated things at that point in time because, the leader of the assembly, Mr. O. Selvam, he got up and said, this is not on. Okay, I mean, to quote something which was mentioned in an intra-party meeting, which, you have no locus standi to do that. So that particular remark of Stalin was expunged. So that was the trigger for the general, they wanted to bring the roof down. I mean, the entire track of DMK members is like, we are 89 people, you can't do anything to us. We actually run the assembly. That's the kind of stance with which they come in. And consistently, meaningful work is getting blocked in the assembly. So I think the Speaker today took this decision to expel them from the assembly. And I think they made a drama out of that, again making it sound as though it's draconian and dictatorial.
Sir, can you just repeat that for us? Have they been expelled or suspended for a week?
After expulsion, they were not going out. They were really protesting. So the House passed a resolution suspending them, all the 89 members, for 1 week.
Okay, stay with me. We also have from the Congress, Khushbu now, who joins us on the phone line. Ma'am, thanks so much for speaking to us on India Today. What do you make of this, melee that one was witness to inside the assembly with Stalin being evicted out of the assembly and all these uproarious scenes that one got to see? Similar scenes that one has seen actually in the past when it comes to the AIADMK and the DMK.
There's nothing to the Tamil Nadu assembly. It is, and for the last 5.5 years, we have been seeing that it's completely a one-way traffic which has been functioning in the assembly. People have not been allowed to speak, and now with the DMK, with such a strong force in the assembly as a very, very strong opposition party, yet the Speaker has never given an opportunity for the DMK people to speak, and the same goes with Congress. The minute somebody raises an issue which is against the ruling government, they have been immediately asked to be silenced and sit down, or been forced to go out of the assembly. So this is nothing new. It doesn't come as a very big shock to me. We were expecting it, and like I said before, it's a one-way traffic when it comes to the ruling government and the assembly in Tamil Nadu.
Stay with me. I want to just ask Mr. Pandya Rajan, how do you respond to that? It's a one-way traffic. It's your government who do not allow others to speak in the assembly, and accusing your government of the kind of high-handedness that has been displayed in the past.
I think Ms. Khushbu's statements are far from true. I think Congress and DMK members have had their say disproportionately higher than their actual strength in the assembly. I think anybody who has actually watched the assembly, and I'm a part of the assembly, and I know for sure that they've been given actually a much higher proportion of time than what their strength demands in the assembly. And many issues have been raised in this particular assembly, and the last 5 years of the assembly has been one of the most productive assemblies here in terms of the bills passed and in terms of...
But the opposition, sir, differs with what you're saying. They're saying that no constructive work has taken place, no productive work has taken place at all.
The last assembly, and DMDK with 29 people in the last assembly, there was enough and more opportunities given. There has been statistical evidence which has been given by the Speaker as to how much of assembly time got consumed by the opposition members. So I don't think there's any restrictions on any of that. But yes, I mean, whenever the track goes into a very, misleading kind of a thing, the Speaker has been quite ruthless in terms of putting it down. It's not like the Parliament where, the Speaker keeps on saying by PhD around, just reduce the noise kind of a thing. Here, I don't think that kind of indiscipline gets tolerated in this assembly. And I think in this particular assembly, this is the first time an expulsion and a suspension has been happening. The last assembly, yes, there were many times this has happened. And DMK members thought, since there are 89 of them and the tag along of Congress and other 9 of them. So somewhere there was a belief that none of these expulsions will ever happen. So that was the shock which got administered to them today, that it can happen when someone tries to block the proceedings of the Assembly from being a smooth kind of proceeding. Yeah.
All right. The opposition, though, crying foul over the act. But for now, Mr. Pandya Rajan, thank you so much for joining us. And Khushbu, thanks to you as well for expressing your views on the incident and the kind of ruckus that was witnessed in the Assembly in Tamil Nadu. Thank you both.